Alright guys, epic fucking slayers here, and finally the 1.6 last stand full patch notes have been revealed on the Division Reddit. Now I'm not going to go over every single change in detail because I could be here forever, but what I will do is leave a link in the description below if you want to check that out. What I am going to do in this video is briefly go over the main changes for you guys, so you guys kind of get a good idea of exactly what will be coming out in the update tomorrow. Again guys, if you're as excited as I am for the 1.6 update to drop tomorrow, then please drop a like and subscribe if you are new to my channel. If we can do 100, 200 likes, I don't know guys, I'll leave it up to you. That will be absolutely awesome, and let's get into the patch notes. So guys, if you weren't aware, the last stand and 1.6 update will be coming out tomorrow after the maintenance, which will end at 11:30 GMT, and that will obviously differ depending on where your time zone is. Now 1.6 and last stand are two completely different updates. Last stand is a DLC and it's for the game mode that will be coming out, and 1.6 is a general update, so you will only have access to last stand if you've got the season pass, whereas 1.6 will be available to every single platform, and the update itself will be coming out across every platform at that time. Guys, so let's start with the 1.6 changes, and we're going to start with the Dark Zone. If you weren't aware, the Dark Zone will be changing and will be expanding. There will be a 7, 8, 9 area, which adds a lot more verticality to the game. Actually, the Dark Zone will be increasing by 100% due to the verticality of this new expansion. We'll be getting Dark Zone leaderboards, so you'll be able to track sort of monthly and weekly activities, and what they are we don't exactly know yet, I don't think, so that'll be pretty cool. And also in the Dark Zone they've added contamination events, which basically means that pockets of virus contamination in the subways below the Dark Zone are basically going to be festering and even be more deadly. So what it is you've got to get in there, collect the loot or kill the AI in there, collect the loot and get out before you die. It's a pretty good change to the Dark Zone in my opinion. In addition to the Dark Zone, Massive have added legendary difficulty to 3 missions: Napalm Production Site, Warren Gate Power Plant and Times Square Power Relay. Now these are going to be a lot more focused on combat scenarios as opposed to narrative, and they're going to be the hardest difficulty in regards to PvE in the game. And the rewards you'll get for that are sort of vanity item, which you'll be able to get from a premium vendor in the turmoil, and I believe also you'll be able to get exotic caches once a week from these activities. On the topic of exotic weapon caches, all named weapons are now of exotic quality, and they'll be sort of a light red in your inventory. Exotic weapons now each have a unique talent in the third free slot. The other 2 talents are rolled randomly from the list of talents available to the weapon type. Exotic weapons cannot be recalibrated and are not transferred to other weapons when using Alpha Bridge. Each exotic weapon will receive a unique description to lore text in their UI. Now I would go through all the changes to exotic weapons, or name weapons as you know it, but there's so many guys, so please check out the link in the description below. So moving on to armor, and this has been removed as a major bonus from items and replaced with health. Now base health has been added to the game, and that depends on the world tier you're in. You automatically be given an amount of health for free. A new bonus called Resist All, which adds resistance to all types of status effects, has been added, and older items with health bonus will actually get this Resist All sort of new bonus. Resistance to status effects will now reduce the effect instead of having a chance to resist it. This means that a 10% bleed resist will lower the bleed damage and duration by 10% instead of having a 10% chance to ignore it all. When applied repeatedly for a short time, the player will naturally build up a resistance to all status effects. In other words, if you're being shot down by a flame turret for ages, eventually it will have no effect on you whatsoever. Moving on to weapons, and the base damage to all weapons have been reduced to balance correctly with the reduced damage mitigation from the change to armor. And note that NPC health and damage has also been adapted to preserve the time to kill and time to be killed values pre 1.6. The L86 base damage has been increased by 4%, so you got a little bit of a buff there, but the damage fall off at range has been reduced by 40%. SMGs have been given back their critical hit chance, and that will be a maximum roll of around 22%. Note that legacy SMGs with critical hit damage will not reflect the critical hit chance. What I mean by that is it will be random, so if you've got 38% critical hit damage that then doesn't give you 22% critical hit chance, it will be completely random. So moving on to combat, and there's an increased time to revive a teammate from 3 seconds to 5 seconds that will be added in the 1.6 update. Hit fast ability has been significantly reduced when moving, and now there is a short cooldown between each combat roll. Body shot damage has been slightly increased in PvP, and the PvP damage multiplier has been set to 0.42. This applies to both Last Stand and the Dark Zone. Also, Bleed no longer blocks sprint, instead it reduces the movement speed by 20%, so I'm sorry Predators, but it just won't be as good anymore. So for anyone wondering what has happened to character talents in 1.6, here we go. On the move has been reduced to 15%, Battle Buddy has been reduced to 30%, and Critical Save reduced to 20%. Adrenaline will no longer apply overheal, instead it replaces the instant heal of medikits with a heal over time that can also apply while taking damage. So there you go guys. Moving on to loot and crafting in 1.6, and we've seen some positive changes. Phoenix credits cap has been increased from 2,000 to 5,000. The weekly assignment caches will now guarantee an exotic item, and recalibration are now unlimited. This means that once a stat is picked for recalibration, it can be recalibrated as many times as a player has currency to pay for it. The cost will increase at first but eventually cap and no longer increase. So there you go guys. Now I realise I've missed out quite a lot there, like gear stats, skills, gear sets and survival, but there's so much information I would be here forever, so I would definitely recommend checking out the Reddit link in the description below, because that will give you every single detail that you require for 1.6. I hope you enjoyed this one, hope you are as excited as I am. I've actually booked tomorrow off work, as sad as I am, just so that I can get straight onto this one and get you some content out guys, because that's how passionate I am about my channel as well as the Division itself. So hope you enjoyed this one. Drop a like if you don't mind, and subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one guys. Peace.